Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast. Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Steve and Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steve and Larson, filmed live at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Of course, available wherever podcasts can be found. If you're listening to my voice, please leave us a rating, review, or a comment. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this. I'm distracted, Larson. Before we kick off our AEW review, we got big news. So both of you and myself, you know, obviously we want to try to do our part to help out with what's going on in the world today. We look at the news. We want to help our friendos out there fighting the good fight. We're all in on this. Friendo Fest 2, the charity benefit for the Bail Project. You were just telling the people off camera what the Bail Project's about, Larson. Could you repeat that, because you said it a lot more eloquently than I could?
All right, I'll try my best. So in short, it's an organization that helps people who are arrested who might not otherwise be able to pay their bail and get out of jail. They help them with that. When protests started in Minneapolis, a lot of attention, a lot of money was going towards the Minnesota Freedom Fund. They're apparently overwhelmed with donations at this point. And Bail Project, from my understanding, is pretty similar to that, just on a national level. And seeing it has now, the protests have gone national, it seemed like a pretty solid charity to get some money to help protesters out there, you know, in the unfortunate event they do get apprehended, to get them out of jail as soon as possible.
Okay, so we're 2 minutes deep into the podcast. We're 15 minutes deep into the Twitch broadcast. We're at $661.
Oh my gosh! I better get my too sweet in hand ready, because
at $10,000. So this is it's starting right now, and it's going through Friendo Fest 2, which is this Friday at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Me and Larson, it's gonna be, like you said, the crescendo, the celebratory. Hey, you know, let's really get this. Let's ram this thing through. Let's do it. And at $10,000, Larson has agreed that if we get to $10,000, he's going to too sweet me.
Not only that, there's more. My whole no too sweeting people ever gone. I'll too sweet everybody now.
It's gonna be Too Sweet City. Here's the thing. This was my thing. As a joke, we had it as a Patreon tier for $200,000. Larson, we're doing really well. We're doing really great. We've got this awesome community of friendos who have compassion, who have solidarity. Black Lives Matter. The movement that I see going on right now, man, I hope that it's like real change. I hope that, you know, I hope that things happen here. You know what I mean?
Same.
Wade Love with the $500 donation.
Wow, thank you so much, Wade.
You look out there, and this stuff, it's got to change. It really does. So $10,000. Larson's going to be the Mr. Too Sweet City. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be exciting. Now the Friendo Fest 2 is still going to be remote, but if we get to 10,000, we're going to make this a special event. The Too Sweet is going to be a special event.
Yeah.
I don't know what that entails. I honestly think it should be a live event.
Okay.
I think it should be a live event.
Whatever. It can't be some run of the mill thing.
We're at $741, and we've only announced it 17 minutes ago.
At the very least, you know, the opening to Muscle Party.
I agree.
It's got to be live, but it's got to be cinematic.
I agree.
It just can't be any old thing.
Yeah.
If we're going to raise that much money, and I'm going to be too sweeting people from here on out, we got to make it an event. So let's make it all happen.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. All right. So let's talk about. Hi, Sandra. Let's talk about. Let's talk about AEW. Thought it was a really fun show. It was punctuated by a really terrific match for the main event. Jungle Boy, who they're obviously trying to make a star out of, and Cody Rhodes. All in all, I thought AEW was pretty darn good tonight, man.
It was a fun show. It was a damn fun show. And yeah, it was highlighted for sure by a pretty darn good Jungle Boy Cody match that saw Cody get busted open. Yeah, man, a star-making performance from Jungle Boy. One of several that he's had so far in AEW. He's had a really good match against Chris Jericho, a couple more. But man, really good main event. I was kind of surprised they had Cody get busted open in this bout as opposed to the Lance Archer one. However,
yeah, I don't know if this was. I mean, I never assume that anything's the hard way.
Well, apart from that time that Cody like basically skidded on the ramp.
Yeah, when they show it over and over again, I didn't actually notice what the spot. What was the spot here that he got busted open on?
Jungle Boy. Oh, he had Jungle Boy ringside, and they were against the base of the stage.
Okay, on
the floor, and I guess Cody headbutted him. Was going for another one. Jungle Boy moved. Bang! Cody headbutted the wall.
Okay,
effectively.
Okay, all right. Let's hop into this because one of my observations from tonight actually had to do with the very first thing, or the first match, anyways. The first thing that actually happened was the recap of okay. So they did a Black.
Actually, the
first
thing that ran on the show was Black Lives Matter video package.
Yeah, that was great. You asked today before news brief if you're like, hey, you want to talk about WWE issuing a Black Lives Matter statement? It's like, that's not news. Lip service. All right. So kicked off with the tag title match, which you knew was at that point the tag titles being on the line, formality here.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of assume that when the people, in this case, Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc, who were squaring off against the tag champs, Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc, they're not the number one contenders for the tag titles. That's best friends. Their match is apparently scheduled for Fyter Fest in about a month's time.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing.
So you kind of knew, yes, there's some mere formality.
This was kind of interesting to me. We talk about this off and on. The idea of power rankings, which is another way of saying who's a star, right? It's who do we think is booked the strongest, who has the most sort of juice, if you will, the parlance that I like to use. Something interesting happened. For the first time, when the tag team champions came out, they came out separately. Kenny was first. I'm sorry, no. Hangman was first. Kenny was second. That was weird to me, and it was weird in that inherent way that I think things are weird when a bigger name comes out before a name that I feel is not as big. I think this is strictly as a fan. AEW has done such a good job building up the mystique around Adam Page, around Hangman Page. He feels like a guy who should be coming after Kenny Omega at this point. Do you feel me on that?
I understand that point of view. I think part of it is they've done a great job building up Page. And also, by his own admission, Kenny's kind of taken a back seat, if you will.
Yeah.
I think he's faced some criticism regarding why he's not consistently main event guy, first champion, so on and so forth. And he more or less said, hey, I accomplished pretty much everything I want to do already. I'm here building this company, building for the future. So I think a combination of those two things for sure, you could definitely get that feeling that Page is the brighter star, if you will, between the two of them.
I just thought it was interesting because, I don't know, you know me, I like the weird minutia of wrestling. And this was one of those things where I just rely on my instinct as a fan. When I see something that piques my curiosity or triggers that thing, I'm like, holy crap, wait a second. Hangman, he needs to be. It's all the things that the elite, all the waiting on Hangman, all the walking on eggshells around him has really like built him into a guy that like you really take him like he's something special, you know?
Yeah.
It's worked.
Yeah.
It's worked. And I think that's
100% has. 100%
I think that's
has. All his struggles early on, all his basic lack of storylines from the very beginning has really paid off. Now that they have something really good for him, something really meaty for him to work on.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he's hitting a home run week in and week out. That bit where during this match where Penelope Ford tries to hit him with the Hurricane Rana, he catches her and he looks at Rick Knox and is like, "What do I do?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do here?"
Yeah.
And Rick Knox says, "Just put her down." And so he just puts her down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moments like that show so much character and so much personality.
It does. And he carries himself. He walks different. He walks with a purpose.
He operates more confidently in the ring as well. I feel like like everything he does is with purpose.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
nothing he does is just going through the motions
for sure,
or seemingly haphazard. Everything seems to have a purpose.
Yeah,
this was a really fun match though, and hats off to Jimmy Havoc for pushing the bounds of what you can do in a standard tag team match. Of course, at one point, rest distracted around the whole Penelope Ford. She tries to Hurricane Rana Paige. Rick Knox tosses her from the ringside area. Her and Kip are arguing with him. This allows Jimmy Havoc to pull a wrench out from the ring. Pow, pow. Hits Paige and Omega with it. Later on, he produces a hacksaw, takes a swing at Paige with that.
It was either JR, I forget who, I think it was JR. Seems so nonchalant. He got a hacksaw.
Yeah, I know. hacksaw can mess you up, man.
Hacksaw can mess you up, man.
Those things have like quarter-inch teeth on them.
I know. He got a hacksaw. And anyways, and I think part of the story here was Hangman and Kenny thought they had this one in the bag, and these guys wouldn't let up. They just kept on coming. They executed a couple of I think Kenny hit what was it, like a V trigger on like Kip or something, and it was right on the heels of Hangman hitting, I don't know, something. And Kenny goes for a pin and he doesn't get it. And it's like, I think they beat somebody with that like a couple of weeks ago or something, or a little while ago. Or Kenny did anyways. So yeah, these guys wouldn't go down, but eventually they went down because this is, that's how it goes.
And that string of double team offense they unleashed right before the finish.
Oh, it's great.
That was nuts.
Yeah. That was rad.
It was like 90 seconds of just straight offense and culminating in the last call, their finish to get the win. Really fun match. Best friends were sitting ringside soaking this all in. That should be a really fun match.
Yeah, that should be really, really good. We're going to keep on with our recap of AEW, but before we continue, here's a word from our wonderful sponsor, forhims.com. You know, Larson, 66% of men start losing their hair by the age of 35. And once you start noticing the hair on the top of your head quantum leaping off your dome, it can be too late. That was my quantum leap sound.
No, effect. I gathered that. And the best way to prevent more hair loss is do something about it while you still got some hair up there. Forhims.com. You can be the best version of yourself with licensed doctors and FDA-approved products to help treat your hair loss. We're talking prescription solutions backed by
science.
That's
right. Hims was created by a guy who knew that some men's health conversations are just easier had online rather than in person. So with Hims, you don't have to stress about awkward, weird in-person doctor's visits or long wait times at the pharmacy.
Yep. Forhims.com connects you with real doctors. All you got to do is answer a few questions. A doctor will review your responses, and if they determine it's right for you, they can prescribe you medication to treat your hair loss is sent directly to your door. Is completely confidential and totally discreet.
And right now, Going In Raw listeners and friendos can get started with their first month free. Go to forhims.com/GIR. That's FORHIMS.com/GIR. Prescription requires an online consultation with a physician who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Offer valid only if prescribed. 3-month minimum subscription. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Remember, that's forhims.com/GIR.
After that, we had a bit of the Tully Blanchard promo from social media early this week. He's like, he's yelling at Spears. What do you want your legacy to be? Do you want to be champion? If he doesn't change his heart, it'll never happen. Well, today, Tully got into a limo with Sean Spears, and he's like, hey, the search for Spears is over. I have the missing piece. And he opens it up, and straight out of God, what was it from Step Brothers?
Black Leather Glove.
What was their organization called? Worldwide?
Prestige Worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide. Black Leather Gloves. Yeah, so he had a black leather glove.
But with no fingers.
With no fingers. So that's his tag partner.
Is this a reference to something that I don't get?
Can somebody explain this one to us? You know, dude, sometimes we have lately especially, we have missed some of the most obvious metaphors. There was a Bray Wyatt one when he was talking about a viper who burned down his house. And you and I cracked a joke about, I forget what. And it was like, yeah, he was talking about Randy Orton. Oh, man. It's Seth Rollins. That's what chat's saying right now. Oh man, yeah, no, Heyman, nice shots. As I was hoping you guys would know. Don't ask us.
Yeah, Sean Spears seemed kind of lost too.
I haven't checked. I haven't dug deep into Twitter on that one, so I don't know.
Yeah, nor have I.
Yeah.
Nor have I. After that, Brian Cage, the Machine, taking on Sean Dean. This match went about as well for Cage's opponent as the one last week, in that Brian Cage made quick work of his opponent. He wins with drill claw. Afterwards, Taz grabs the mic. It says he and Cage were talking about last week. The match, but more so what happened afterwards when Taz dropped promo on Mox, when Mox had the audacity to laugh at Taz when he told him that Cage was going to kick the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's not a game to them. Mox needs to get his head on right or it's going to get taken off. Beat Cage if you can. Survive if he lets you. This brings Mox. He's walking downstairs through the stands. And Taz says, be careful before you enter the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Mox kind of smirks, gets in anyways, says this is fun. He says the reason he was smiling last week is because he thought because the thought of stepping in the ring with Cage makes him happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And adds that stepping in the ring with him is the furthest thing from a game.
Yeah.
Mox says that he can be beat, but it'll take Cage all night long to do it. Cage is a different thing from anything else and anybody else in AEW, but so is Mox. This was kind of like a meandering promo from Mox. I don't really feel like he said a lot here.
They gotta build the match, man. They gotta do it somehow. I just sort of want to see Brian Cage. Like I get the feeling that like you don't prove anything by destroying jobbers. You know, that's why Lance Archer was built up so well. Like, yeah, he had some jobbers. He had Marco Stunt, but also he ripped through that tournament like it was, butter. And that's why the build was so great there.
People are saying the glove is a Barry Windham reference, perhaps.
Yeah, I saw that too. But Barry, what is he going to have? Like 2 managers now? Does Barry Windham still wrestle? I don't think he does.
No, he doesn't.
No. Does he have does he have like is it, I don't know. Is it one of the, I don't know. Who's the other one? There was a different Wyndham, wasn't there? Kendall. I kept on thinking Bobby Duncombe, and I'm like, no, that's not Kendall. Right. They have the same last name. Kendall Wyndham. And then I showed you that picture one time of the West Texas Rednecks?
Yeah.
Is that what they were called?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, who's this? And he said, it's Barry Windham. And then I said, okay, fine. Who's this? And you're like, and I was like, oh, that's right. He's got a brother. Because it looked just like him.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, God dang it. Anyways, what a couple of buffoons. Lance Archer and what's his face? Jake Roberts.
Yeah.
They're at like a junkyard.
A construction site, I think.
Oh, is that
Lance Archer is like tossing
they're in construction now.
Tossing some dude luchador mask into one of those guardrails or safety rails that they have along the freeway, so you don't run off the shoulder to construction. Alex Marvez happens to be there, and Lance is like, "Hey, don't you think because one loss here at AEW is going to change my plans? No one is safe. No one can stop me. Everyone dies." And Jake Roberts looked freaked out.
Yeah,
that Lance Archer was off the rails.
He's like, everyone's gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. And Jake's like, hey, sorry about that, Alex.
Pretty great.
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff.
Speaking of great stuff,
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. In the wrestling ring, in the venue, having a black denim vest with no shirt on underneath and your nipples are showing in the wrestling ring is like normal, kind of, right? When you leave the venue and you're in a construction site and you're doing that, then it looks a little weird because you just wouldn't see that walking around.
Maybe I'm gonna put this past you. There was a dude with a luchador mask there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Archer has something written to his contract that he can have spur of the moment matches wherever he wants against any opponent.
All right.
He has like a standing, essentially 24/7 thing where someone wants to challenge him, like they did at his estate in that wrestling ring.
Yeah, that can
happen at any place, anytime, and that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And so he has to dress in his ring gear, so he's always prepared for a match should it happen impromptu.
Fair enough. I'll accept that answer. After that, we had Private Party at the bar, enjoying some spirits. And Mark Quinn was about to give an injury update when Matt Hardy walks in. Quinn's like, "Hey, my knee is fine." And he says, "Hey, I enjoyed the match last week. You guys are the future of tag team wrestling here in AEW." He says, "Your bond reminds me of my bond with Jeff." And he's like, "Hey, if you need anything, let me know." And Cassidy's like, "Hey, got a great idea. Let's join forces. Matt Hardy, Private Party, Hardy Party." And then Matt laughs politely and leaves. He's like, "Okay, great." It's not really what I meant, but okay, awesome. He leaves. He runs into Sammy Guevara on his scooter out in the hallway, and he's like, "Hey, Sammy, good to see you. We're cool."
Respect.
That's what he said. Respect. Yeah.
He had such a positive attitude tonight.
Yeah, he did. He was very positive tonight. After that, we had a Cody and Jungle Boy package, followed by the announcement that Fyter Fest will not actually be a pay-per-view, but it'll be 2 very special episodes of Dynamite, airing July 1st and July 8th.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
Should we get together for that? So we can do like a watch party thing?
We can talk about it.
I guess it's possible. It's
yeah.
Maybe possible on my end. My parents are back.
Okay.
They came back from South America.
Oh.
Yeah, safely. So after that, we had a recap of that Tyson Jericho stuff from last week, and then the backstage thing where Jericho is blaming Colt Cabana for keeping him from knocking out Tyson because Colt was holding Jericho back, amongst many other people, though. But he decided to blame it on Colt, which, of course, led to a match this week, Colt Cabana versus Chris Jericho. This was pretty good, man. Colt Cabana had a lot of offense going on with Chris Jericho. And that Frankensteiner was good, man. That was like a 2 7/8.
Yeah, man, that was close.
That he got on that.
Fall.
At one point, Jericho had Colt in what was it, like the Lion Tamer up against the ropes. He thought he had won, and Aubrey Edwards was like, "No," calls her a shitty ref.
Her reaction was great. She just went,
"Yeah." And then poor Colt Cabana runs into a Judas effect.
Yeah, to end the match. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, Jericho grabs the mic, tells everybody in attendance to shut their asses and address him with respect. He says, "What happened to Colt will happen to Tyson." He calls Mike Tyson a piece of shit. This is not going to end well for Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I'm not going to wait till next week, next pay-per-view, next Christmas. I want Tyson now." He calls him out. Instead of Tyson, Orange Cassidy comes down the ring.
Yeah.
And so he goes up to Jericho, and Jericho doesn't have pants in his pockets or pockets in his pants. And if he does, it's probably too tight to get his hands into. So Cassidy tucks his hands underneath his belt. He does the pocket thing himself. Hager comes after him. Orange evades him. He evades Jericho, rolls out of the ring. Best friends pull him over the barricade. Safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And XLAX come down too.
After that, we had a really terrific Britt Baker rehab video package. So she's in the Jaguars like practice facility or whatever it is, and the trainer guy is there, and Rebel's there, and Britt's in her wheelchair, just doing these. She's doing the worst exercises. She's trying to do the ropes thing, but she's so like weak at it. The trainer tries to give her like a 10-pound weight. And like she just completely drops it, and he has to give her a 2-pound.
Yeah, 2.5 pounder. Yeah.
The best part though, was at the end. What was the activity she was doing at the very end when they were cheering her on?
I think it's just when she rolled up the ramp.
Okay, yeah. So she was just rolling up the ramp, and you see a shot of Rebel and the trainer, and they're cheering her on. Cuts back to Britt, and she's like, trying her damnedest. And then it cuts back, and all of a sudden, Tony's there cheering her on too.
Yeah.
And the trainer's like, "Where'd you come from?"
I know.
Oh, I love that running joke. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
It's my absolute favorite thing. It's so good.
The final shot was great, where Britt kind of leans over the back of the wheelchair, flexing her bicep.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Great. After that, we had a match: Big Swole versus Nyla Rose, former women's champion. And Big Swole, I mean, she did what she could here, but Nyla Rose is just too much, and she's too angry from losing.
She is. Britt rolled up to the ringside area on a field cart and had a vanity plate that said Rolls Royce, ROLE apostrophe.
That's good.
So she's sitting there taking in the match near ringside. This was a really fun match. A lot of good back and forth. Swole got in a lot of offense. Seemed like she's on the verge of winning. She was looking for the ripcord forearm. Nyla reverses that into a spine buster to get the win. Afterwards, Swole did an interview, and she's been gone for 2 months. It helped recenter her. Meanwhile, Britt's off camera talking trash.
Yeah.
And Swole's like, "What's that?" And so Britt says, "All right, Rebel, back this up." So she backs up the cart right into the barricade.
Yeah.
Moves it, I don't know, a good 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah.
Swole goes under the chair or under the ring, grabs a chair, and starts coming after Britt. And Britt's like, "All right, Rebel, get out of here." Yeah.
So they drive off a little bit, and then you see MJF in the background, and he's like, "Tony, this is your fault."
Yeah.
That was funny stuff.
It was great. He was drinking his glass of wine.
Yeah. After that, here's the thing, man. Darby Allin, he needs to stick to the short films. These interviews just make him seem like, so he was interviewed by Tony? Was it Tony or Alex?
Don't remember.
God, I want to say Tony, but I think it was Alex. That's weird.
I think it was Alex.
Anyways, he's not clear to wrestle this week. Oh, it says here, Tony.
Tony, yeah, there it is.
If the interview with Taz has anything to do with Cage injuring him, Darby says, he said, "Life's a big joke, but he'll get the last laugh on Cage." And then he said, "Go away, I'm working on my music." That's the vibe of this.
Yeah.
And it really shouldn't be. But he just comes out like he's going to say, "Oh, you work for Evolve?"
Yeah.
He just comes off as a disgruntled teenager. And I know that you said, wasn't that his gimmick? I don't think it's really supposed to be his gimmick, disgruntled teenager.
This is the way I look at it. Yeah, like macro, there's, storylines are out of, to a certain extent, individual wrestlers' hands. These guys and women all do their own promos, man.
Yeah.
This is what he wants his promos to be.
Yeah, but I feel like in that case, this gimmick is just a phase. And then he's got to go to college and
you can have a positive or outlook, you can have whatever outlook about it, but to say this is not what his character is supposed to be when individual wrestlers in AEW are supposed to be spearheading their characters.
I just feel like just don't do an interview. Just send in a short film submission again. It just comes off like he's in his room pouting.
Yeah, it's totally what it comes off as. Gosh, Dad, leave me alone.
Jeez. he's just Napoleon Dynamite at this point.
Kind of, yeah. Next, we had an FTR interview. They're in the lobby of, looks like the Jaguars team offices. It got off to a bit of a rocky start. They should never ask him what FTR stands for.
Dude, they never should have named themselves initials that don't stand for anything. Because he says, "What does FTR stand for?" And he's like, "It's just our way of life."
It's not a tagline. It's just not something you can put on a shirt. Of course, there's FTR shirts already.
Wait a second. It's just a way of life? FTR? Like when Taz was doing FTW, F the world. That's a way of life. You know why? Because the words stand for something. They have like 5 different meanings, and they all mean different things, man.
Yeah. So what they're saying essentially is that FTR is meaningless. It's a way of life. They're saying life has no meaning.
Whoa, nihilists.
No purpose.
They're nihilists, man.
No, I'm not. FTR is.
No, they are. That's what I'm saying. They are. Yeah.
So it's whatever you want it to be. And then Tony asks them, who do you want to face? So first they say the Butcher and the Blade, Private Party, Santana and Ortiz, Lucha Brothers. And they say, we can't forget about the champs who aren't even a real tag team. Kenny Omega, Adam Page. No mention of the Young Bucks. Tony asks them about that. And they say the match with the Young Bucks isn't a dream match for us. They're tired of Meltzer naming them the tag team of the decade and then winning all these awards, getting all this praise when they feel like they're the best team. And so they say they don't want to have the best match with them. They just want to punch them in the face. And I think Dax says, yeah, we want to beat them in like 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So they want, and they're asked about saving the Young Bucks last week. They say they want zero doubt in anyone's mind that when they beat them, that they're the best. They don't want the Young Bucks going in there injured, compromised in any way. They want them at 100%. So when FTR wins, then commentary will have to apologize to them for not declaring them the best tag team.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the interview wraps up. Tony kind of as an aside, but still, camera's still rolling. It's like, oh, I thought FTR stands for F the Revival, but you know,
they bleep out F and the Revival. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're laughing about it. Butcher and Blade come down the stairway that's kind of behind them, and they want a piece of FTR. Cash says, hey, it was nothing personal. Last week was just business. And you wouldn't be businessmen, sell this like businessmen do. We'll sell this in the ring. And it seems like things are starting to calm down a bit. And then Cash tosses a water ball at Butcher and the Blade, and it says, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, that was good. That's cool, man. We get their in-ring debut. That's exciting.
Yep.
Good stuff. Speaking of which, next week, that's happening next week. Butcher and Blade versus FTR. Also, Mark Quinn will challenge for the TNT title. That's cool. How did this happen? Did he just put his name on a board?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my understanding. Colt versus Sammy Guevara, and then Inner Circle, Hager and XLAX, I believe, taking on Best Friends and Orange Cassidy.
That'll be good. After that, we had sad Colt Cabana in an interview. He said he fell short against Jericho, but he's shown that he can hang with the big boys. He's good for network TV. He could be on network TV, but he can't win the big ones. And then Mr. Brodie Lee approaches and says, losses are a part of life, but it's how you respond that counts. I can help you with that. And then Colt's that's nothing I want to be a part of.
Well, the dude's in the commercial hands Colt a bottle of water. And Colt's like, yeah, that's nothing I want to be a part of. And takes a huge drink of water.
Yeah.
From that water bottle. So
and a big swallow. And then we had our very bloody main event. Jungle Boy versus Cody. This was great. Number one, they were making a very obvious choice to get a lot of MJF in this match. He was watching ringside, so that is still looming. MJF versus Cody is still a thing. Of course,
his beef after Cody went and headbutted the wall, got himself all bloody. And Jungle Boy turns around. There's MJF, and MJF's getting in Jungle Boy's face, saying, "I should be in this match. Yeah. I should be getting this title shot, not you."
Yeah.
And so Jungle Boy turns back around. That's when what Cody do? I have it here somewhere. Oh no, he gets Cody back in the ring, and Arn's like, "Hey ref, look at Cody. He's all busted open." And Jungle Boy, he just goes right after that cut, starts punching it over and over again. Yeah. So that was good. That was good. They had Jungle Boy be aggressive, be on the offense, seeing a target, a potential weakness for Cody, and going after it. That's smart wrestling.
They're doing what they can to build this guy up, man. It's smart too. He's got a lot of the ingredients. I haven't really heard much. He's had a couple promos.
Yeah,
but they're not really memorable. He just comes off as a genuine kid.
Totally.
But he is young and he doesn't have. He's only been wrestling a year longer than MJF, but MJF is like, that dude has picked it up so fast, like frightening.
Yeah, especially from the microphone perspective.
That's not a great measuring stick to go by because that bar is way too high.
Yeah, seemingly. So earlier in the match, right before commercial break, actually, Cody gets a table from the ringside area and positions it closer to the ring. And so towards the finish, they're brawling on the turnbuckle atop it, nearest where that table is. And then Jungle Boy kind of pushes Cody a little bit, and they both fall through the table. Cody takes most of the blow, yet he's the one to arise from the wreckage first.
Yeah, I know.
Like he took all
Cody,
that fall.
Like, look, man, I know this was all about making Jungle Boy a star, but Cody's not going to let somebody do that at his expense. He can't help but make it into a Cody show. I mean, he's the one who got to bleed, you know. But yeah, I know what you're saying. And then he just gave him a nasty. Jungle Boy had a great sell on his Crossroads.
Sell. I kind of felt like both of them shook off that table spot pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, they were short on time, though. They only gave this match like 12 minutes or so.
12 minutes, I know, it was surprisingly short.
It wasn't that long.
I was kind of expecting MJF to get involved at some point, or Archer.
Yeah. So anyways, he wins. Nightmare Family and Jurassic Express go to the ring. As they're making their way, as they're laying there, Cody's got his head. He like sort of hugs Jungle Boy's head. And, I'm sure he was giving us some good words of encouragement. Mm-hmm. He's like, stick by me, kid. I'll make you a star. Nightmare Family and Jurassic Express. That's what Paul Heyman, that's what JR said to, he didn't say I'll make you a star. He said it to Heyman when Heyman showed up for commentary.
Yeah.
He said, stick by me, kid. We'll do fine. I don't know why I remember that. I remember the weirdest things. I can't remember shit from yesterday, but I can remember one random line I've heard from JR. Anyways, everybody comes to the ring. They all celebrate. And then, the Ewoks are celebrating, and it shows people celebrating on Tatooine and stuff. It's great. Anyways.
I think you got your celebrations mixed up there, Steve.
Let's answer some questions.
Sounds good. I'm on Twitch right now.
Man, we're up to $876 right now.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much.
Amazing stuff.
Dr. Steve Winters. Steve shaves his hair and grows it back with hymns.
That's not really what hymns. That's not really. I don't think it does that.
Your hair will grow back. Your hair. If you shave your head, your hair will grow back.
I don't trust you. I'm sorry, I don't. You are not a hair professional.
I know. I cut my hair really short.
I know.
Like all the time. And it always grows back. I shaved my beard off before. It grew back.
Yeah, no, okay, here's the thing. You've been shaving your hair, but I mean, is it actually growing back? I said, look at the top right there.
I shave it here and here too. Grows back. Red Enigma. Yeah, I'm kind of lost on the black glove thing. I don't entirely remember Tully Blanchard ever being known for something like that. I guess.
What about a motorcycle gang? What if he's like, hey, we're in a motorcycle gang now?
Then I feel like Eric Bischoff's got like a consultant job with AEW. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. Good stuff. He was innovative. James Fletcher. Once every wrestler is back, who will have the biggest impact and why? Everybody's kind of back, aren't they?
Penta, he's not back yet.
But they were not using him.
It's Pac.
Oh yeah, it's Pac. Pac needs to come back.
Phil the Thrill 7, thoughts on the Jericho and Shug D podcast. I saw he was on Talk as Jericho. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet.
Neither have I. I'd like to. The Rain Trigger, what's a better version of Cody, face or heel? Same question with Kenny Omega. I find whatever they do pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Heel Kenny is something else, though.
Okay, so I don't like pure face Kenny. Kenny now, he's totally a face, but he's also kind of DDT Kenny.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it better. I was not a fan of like Kenny during his Golden Lovers days, where he was just kind of boring and he was a face. That's like the least appealing character wise. He's always a great wrestler, but like cleaner Kenny is great.
Mm-hmm. Our Lopez Ortiz, they should do Fyter Fest as a limited commercial interruption thing. That'd be cool. 2 weeks, Fyter Fest.
Yeah, it's just Dynamite.
Yeah, but it's, they said all the titles are going to be on the line.
It's branded Fyter Fest. No, I know. I'm just giving it some shit. Jose Cruz, you think Orange Cassidy will ever be a credible world champion? No, I do not.
Joe Juarez says Britt is a true role model.
She is.
ROLL.
I agree with that. Let's see 100%. Here. Dog Authority figure.
AO Worm. Sorry, go ahead.
Dog Authority figured, given how stacked the tag division is, would you like to see a lot of title changes like we used to see in the Attitude Era, or would you prefer to see longer title reigns? I want shorter title reigns, but not necessarily the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Agreed.
I want title changes on Dynamite, damn it.
Agreed. A.O. Worm says it's called Dirty Dancing. That's right. I forgot to mention that. That's what Swole's finisher is called.
Speaking of which, Flashdance was on 2 nights ago on Pluto TV.
Yeah.
I caught the end dance routine. All the judges were smoking. They were like,
man.
They were like disinterested, and then as soon as she started doing like stripper moves, they were all into it. Like they'd never
I don't know if I've ever
moves.
seen all of Flashdance before.
I've only seen the last part where she dances for the judges.
Oh yeah, I've seen Dirty Dancing
2 nights ago.
Times. I've seen Dirty Dancing several times in my life.
Oh, I've seen
I've
Dirty
never seen
Dancing quite a
Flashdance.
few times. That's a great movie.
Yeah,
That's a really good movie.
it's a good movie. Joe Juarez, I like how the crowd in AEW is able to interact with the goings on in the ring in contrast to the NXT crowd. The NXT crowd just feels like
They're in the
at
Phantom
times,
Zone.
Well, it feels like that, or they were programmed by 2K Games. It seems like a video game crowd in a wrestling show.
Well, you got to figure, man, up until like 2 weeks ago, they were chilling,
I know.
getting their checks, chilling. And
Now they're on their feet for 10, 12 hours a day. People on the PA yelling at them.
right? Man. And according to Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful Select, go check them out.
Yes.
They're not getting paid more for this, which makes sense if they're not working, if they're not.
No,
doing
I know
anything.
that kind of makes sense. They're on NXT talents, developmental talents are on salary, so that makes sense. And I feel like more often than not, the reaction shots that they have for the crowd in NXT were shot at a completely different time than the action was going on in the ring.
I know. I agree.
Joe Juarez, I just read that one. Sorry. Fear and Loathing. Darby sounds like a teenage David Putty.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. What does the Magic 8 Ball say? Scotty Sparks, the electrician. Do you think Taz will be the Heyman to the Beast, Brian Cage?
Sorry, say again.
Do you think Taz will be the Heyman to Lesnar's Brian Cage?
If they can somehow get something close to that dynamic, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think Brian Cage can talk though, can he? Well, Lesnar can talk too, though.
Yeah, Lesnar could talk too. Gareth Nicholas, do you think the water bottle that Dark Order dude handed Colt could be tainted?
Oh yeah,
Mind control.
could be, man. Could be. Wasn't that like a thing in the 50s? They used to like put some. They'd go to like a small town, like the CIA, and they'd put some agent in the water to have the people do what they wanted to do.
Man, there was all sorts of messed up experiments.
Reptilian elite.
There's so many messed up experiments.
Andrew Jocelyn. It's a shame AEW's themes aren't great. He says kind of trash, but I don't want to go that far. Whose AEW theme would you trade to NXT? He says he personally keeps confusing Lance's Everybody Dies with Ciampa's No One Will Survive. No One Will Survive is a great theme.
That's a really good theme. None, like there's very few AEW themes that I would call really good, but there's also very few of them that I would call bad. Most of them are just fairly middle of the road.
Yeah. Best Friends is probably my favorite.
Oh, that one's great.
It really is.
Theirs is great. Hangman's is great.
Oh, Hangman's is so good.
Cody's isn't great as a song, but it's great as a theme for him.
It's fitting. It's very fitting.
I like
Thank
Britt
you,
Baker's
Adam
theme.
Time. What's that?
Britt Baker's theme's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd know it if I heard it. Probably would.
I mean, it's the one that starts with "The Doctor Will See You Now."
Brian Cage's starts with Taz saying, "Who can't stop the path of Brian Cage?"
Why don't they have him say, "Beat him if you can, survive if he lets you"?
Brian is such a like mundane name. It's like Steve. It's like, shouldn't they just call him Cage? Like, isn't this one time where the NXT or the main roster thing of ditching a name? Just call him Cage.
What was his name in Developmental? He had like a Wolverine inspired name when he was in WWE Developmental.
Did he? Was it Weapon X?
It's like Nightclaw or something like that.
Nightclaw. Who can't stop my path of getting to Brian Cage? He's
Nightclaw,
down
yeah.
3 aisles.
Yeah, he was the Florida Championship Wrestling. I think he was Nightclaw there.
I want Taz to slip and call Brian Cage Brian Zane.
Sorry, Chris Logan. He was Chris Logan.
Chris Logan. Oh, Logan. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, then he was Nightclaw. Yeah. So yeah, Nightclaw.
Was like was like Brian was. What was yours? Chris Logan? Was that his secret identity?
Maybe. O-Dog.
Amalgam Cage.
I wish they would turn Cody's open challenge or Cena's open challenge be a surprise opponent every week as opposed to random pre-known opponents.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, no.
Just show up. I don't care who it is. I'll be happy. Like, oh wow, Mark Quinn. Ooh. I want to ask any questions if you just have them like just show up. I don't want to know process if they're just showing up. If you're telling me in advance and I want to know why do they get it?
Yeah, exactly. Local Doug on Being the Elite and Dark. Allie has been hanging all over QT Marshall on Dark, announcing she no-sold the question about Butcher and Blade. Is it just an angle or a new gimmick?
It was weird. It was really weird that this week they showed like that lower angle of her like caressing his erect D. That was weird. You have to admit.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't think TNT will be too happy about
that. I'm surprised.
And he was wearing like gray spandex.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that's the case.
My kid's sitting there watching, man. That's not good.
All right. Omega Advent asked, if we reach 20,000, will Larson shave his beard? Something to consider.
Got to be limits to stuff, man.
There's something to consider. Something to consider.
Well, consider it. It's your beard. It's your beard.
Yeah. I'm not gonna take it off the table.
My hair is untouchable. Let's see here. Nemo, what superhero, anime, or video game character costume would you use for your wrestling gear? She'd go with One Punch Man. I think I know who One Punch Man is. Let me double check.
I guess like Iron Man. Someone tries to hit me, they hit iron. That's good for that's going to hurt themselves more than me.
For your wrestling gear, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I would go with one character. I would go with probably just like Superman because everybody knows who he is. And like the bookers would be like, okay, you're going to lose today, Steve. I'm like, wait a second. I'm Superman. That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I win. What are you talking about? Look, my Superman costume. That's an IP violation.
So,
Shut up,
Steve Man. Promoter. Steve Man always wins.
Yeah, I'm Steve Man.
White Brownie 92. If you could replace Cody's theme.
Hold on. James says, how about for 20,000?
Theme with his
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
James says Steve kisses Larson for $20,000. So wait, what now?
White Brownie says, White Brownie has a question. If you could replace Cody's theme with any of his previous ones, which one would it be?
Stardust. Because didn't it just sound like Gold Dust?
Yes, effectively. Dang MQ says Sammy was great singing Jericho's theme. Jericho always looks like he's about to laugh.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty funny. Okay, let's see here. Adrian C. Do you prefer the Sean Spears we've had during the last few months of empty arena shows or the Blanchard Spears version they tried pre-COVID? It's like the same thing, man. It's the same thing.
And yet I feel like Sean Spears has already gone through like 4 gimmicks.
Now he's got black leather glove.
All right. Don't get it.
Here's the last one that I got. Sleazy Mo. If you had to do a top rope dive all the way to the floor, which 3 AEW stars would you trust to catch you? Nobody that was in the ladder match. Nobody. Mm-hmm. None of them. I would trust Omega. I would trust the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
That's 3 people.
Yeah, that'd probably be my answers too.
That's it. Nobody in that ladder match because they couldn't catch anybody.
Yeah, they couldn't catch anybody. Flat says, last year we saw a lights out match at Fyter Fest. Any chance we see that again on TV? They're just not really set up for one, so I don't know whether it'd be a possibility anyways.
No say, senor. Looks like Mike Rome is live streaming on Twitch. Should we raid him?
Sorry, Adam Time with some bits. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam Time. And thanks, everybody. Man, we're up to $876.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody.
On the Friendo
That's
BLM benefiting the Bail Project drive thing. We need a better name for it. Something more succinct. Friendo BL, Friendo Fest. I don't know what we're going to call it. Anyways. All right. That's it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Twitch chat, stay tuned. We're going to raid Mike Rome, I think. He only has like 50 people watching, man. He needs a boost. Let him. Let's give him an audience. He could try to prove himself. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.